Hello, this is an informative video on how to install an ISR short shifter in your 5-speed in a Miata. This is what you get. You'll have your actual shifter. It does have the bushings already installed on it. Right here is one of the turret parts. This will actually raise the whole shifter. So this is actually longer than the stock one. It gets rid of the rubber that's in here that makes throws softer from the stock one, so it'll give you a much stiffer feel. And here is all the parts. You do get 3 new bolts because it is taller. And when you do this, if you haven't done anything to your shifter already, I do recommend getting another boot. This is the lower boot, so it's the smaller one. There is a larger one that I also recommend buying before you do any of this. The first thing you need to do is take your shift knob off. I've already loosened it. It just twists off. Put that aside. Next, you want to have your parking brake up and this in neutral so everything is easy to get off, because this will not come off with the parking brake down. If you do have a cup holder, pinch the sides, take that off. There are a few screws. Take your number 2 Phillips. You'll have screws 1 in the cup holder, which is why you need to take it out. If you open up here, you'll have 2 screws there, and then you'll have a screw on either side of the center console. Once you have those removed, make sure you have the parking brake up. It will pop up, and then you'll slip those out and turn it on its side. If you have power mirrors, and I have a little bitty light that is in my center console, come over here, pinch these, and unplug them. You shouldn't need any tools, and it will come off pretty easily. Next, you will have a larger boot. This will have 4 of these bolts. Boom, 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 boom. Move this out of the way. And this will be lowered down on the shifter. It is tricky to get off. I've seen people cut it off or break it. If you don't have a new one and you want to reuse it and it's in good shape, what I would recommend doing is putting a little WD-40 or some sort of lubricant and let it sit for a second and shimmy it off. Now my shifter is very broken. The rubber inside actually completely stripped, so it just spins freely. Here's that new boot that I recommend getting. So you're gonna have to take these 3 bolts off, and do make sure it is in neutral. Now that you have the 3 bolts taken out, prepare some paper towels because this is covered in transmission fluid. This will just pop out. And there you go. And go put this elsewhere. Here's the parts that you're gonna need after you've taken everything out. Here's your shifter. Here's your lower part, your upper pretty part, and your old shifter part. It has the wave washer on the bottom, and it will have this plastic part with the cutout. And then this is your new part. It has the wave washer and your new plastic piece, and then your other hardware, and of course your flat piece. I want to go over something with the turret. So when you're doing all this and you've taken out all the old bushings, there is going to be the old fluid left in the turret of the transmission. You want to get that out of there because chances are it's never been changed. What I've seen people do is take either the end of a soap dispenser, like a little just pump soap with like the straw, and put that down kind of, in the turret and pump it out into a cup. That's a pretty good idea. I think a turkey baster is going to be too big to get in all like the little crevices. How much fluid are you supposed to have in the shifter turret? Well, there's not an exact measurement. I can't find any anywhere, so I'm going to kind of show you. This is the inside of your shifter turret. This little box with the cutout is right where the bottom of your shifter sits. You want to fill the fluid up right over the top of that box, just enough to cover it a little bit. You do need to reuse 2 parts from your old shifter, that plastic part and then the metal wave washer. If for whatever reason those are damaged or you don't have them, you can go and buy a new shifter rebuild kit, which is just all the bushings and the wave washers and the little cup and this little insert piece. I will have links in the description for everything that I've installed, including the old just OEM shifter rebuild kit, because if you wanted to do that, you can. It's pretty similar to what I'm doing. This is the fluid that your shifter turret and your transmission use. This is 80W90. I'm not too familiar with how the weights work for oils, so I believe you can use a lighter weight oil. Another little thing, your turret that needs fluid does not connect in whatever way, at least fluid-wise, to your actual transmission. You're thinking you can fill your transmission up by filling up the turret. That's not how it works. Here is your lower piece. There is no hardware in here at the moment, just fluid. That will sit nicely. You will take your plastic part with the cutout and the wave washer attached. Wave washer down, cutout facing the back, so opposite of the other one. Just try and line it up as best you can to start. Then you will take your spacer, making sure that the pin is facing forward, opposite of what it is in the transmission. And this will line up with the plastic bushing. What you'll then do is you take your shifter. If this isn't attached for whatever reason, you can put a little transmission fluid on this, put it on the bench, and pop it in. It should not be that hard. When you do this, there is a kind of square with a cutout for this inside the transmission. This bushing needs to line up with it. So when you do this, try and get this as flat as possible and slowly lower it in. There we go. Take your new plastic and wave washer part. You'll put plastic down, take this off of it for the time being, your wave washer, and push it down in here. It will require a little bit of force. Use your thumbs, get it as far down as you can. Then you can take your wave washer, line it up with its notches, and set it in. Take this piece, lay it over, take your new boot, line everything up as best you can, bolt and lock washer and washer. This is just something I like to do. When you have your washer, there are two different sides. There's kind of a nicer rounded side and then a flatter side. Have the nicer side facing up. Will also make a better mating surface on the flatter side. Something to be cautious of is this is an aluminum transmission, and I've found with at least Miata aluminum transmissions, they are not the most durable metal. So when you are tightening these, don't go crazy. I mean, like, evenly do it. I'm barely applying any pressure. I would give you a torque for these, but there isn't a torque that I can find, not even in like the Mazda shop manual. It's not going to go anywhere, and these have lock washers. That is significantly tighter than stock. Next part is this larger boot. I would recommend buying a new one of these too. Put it on. Gonna take a little bit of shimmying. This is meant for this size, so do not drop it below this. You can get it pretty low, sit about like that, and take your 10mm. For this last one, since there is this bracing right here, kind of move your wires out of the way, use a 10mm box end, and just do it like this. If you have power mirrors and the little light, you can hook that up. Open up your console so you can see how you're going to line up those. There you go. Make sure it's in neutral. Slip this over there. Get these lined up. And it will kind of click into place. This is interior stuff. It's not like a motor mount or something, so you don't need to tighten it too much. If you have a cup holder, pop that back in. Take your shift knob. I use the OEM one, the stock one. You know, it's had history to it, and I think it looks great. Oh, dude, what's up? No shirt, no shoes, no service. Dude, you're missing one of the three. Oh, you need a shirt? You should have just told me, dude. I got one right here for you. This is one of my favorite shirts. Look at that. Look what that says. 70.03. That is the penal code for unreasonable acceleration. What does the back say? Gives you a nice government copy and pasted definition. No person shall accelerate any motor vehicle with an unnecessary exhibition of speed, with the word no crossed out. Here you go, buddy. Oh, you're cold too? You should have told me. This is also my go-to hoodie. It says a nice Propeter right on the front, you know, not too big, not too flashy. What you got on the back? Very reassuring. I'm sure it'll be fine. And if you want to pick up any of these shirts or hoodies, I've got a link in the description and on the homepage of the YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helped out, and I will see you in the next one.